What is good, YouTube? It's your boy 50K Clay, and we are back tapped in with yet another video, man. It's been a while, man. I'm so glad to get back tapped in with y'all to start up another dialogue. How have y'all been, man? Thank y'all again for watching yet another video, man. So let's get into the topic at hand. First of all, Spotify released a new list of people they consider leaders for the future of hip hop. So this all started with essentially they were doing a new ad campaign marketing the future of hip hop. It just started off ambiguous at first. People didn't know what the list was going to be. People didn't know who they could expect to see on the list. So they did some marketing with some billboards, with some ads, with some paid promos and stuff like that, building up anticipation for what people might have thought was maybe a Playboy Carti album, because he did kind of the same rollout. And maybe they even Spotify took a little bit from what he did. They saw it worked for him, and they incorporated that into their new marketing scheme of hip hop needs new leaders. They let the anticipation build up. Who is going to be these potential faces? What's this marketing campaign about? What's going on? But eventually, they released a new list of rappers who they project to be the future of hip hop, and let's see what that list is. So as it stands right now, the list is looking like this: Baby Keem from Las Vegas, Glorilla from Memphis, Doechii from Tampa, Florida, Central C from London, Sexy Red from St. Louis, Rod Wave from Florida, Lil Tecca from New York, and Big X the Plug from Dallas. Now, with that being said, this list is absolute trash. And I don't want to shit on any of the artists in this list because they are actually valid artists. There's a lot of people I actually listen to on here. I ain't gonna say a lot, I take that back. But I listen to Lil Tecca, and I listen to Baby Keem, and I listen to Doechii occasionally. I really liked her last album. But Baby Keem just released an album relatively recently, Casino. That was super dope. And Lil Tecca has always been pretty consistent. But with that being said, these are supposed to be the new leaders of hip hop. A lot of these artists have been around for at least half a decade. Like Lil Tecca blew up in 2018 while I was still in high school. I was still fresh in high school. And I just graduated college. So to say he's a new leader, Baby Keem blew up in 2021 with Family Matters and with Family Ties and being associated with Kendrick. So all of these artists have had their wave, and they all have 20 plus million listeners on Spotify. So to say that they're supposed to be the new wave of hip hop, it's just esoteric. It's just out of date. It's just wrong. Now, Spotify has access to all these data centers. They have access to the metrics and what people are really listening to. They could have really gotten in their bag to do some deep diving on who really is the future leaders of hip hop. You know, I'm sure they got good people over there working in Rap Caviar. They got an assortment of data and metrics to verify who can really be the next face. And what we're presented with is artists that have been around for a while, that some have proven that they have staying power. Others, I don't think they're going to last past, the next 5 years at the most. So to say that these same people who've already had momentum, who've been selling out stadiums and who've already done major worldwide tours are the next face of hip hop, it's just asinine to me. Like I said, I feel like Spotify could have used their platform to shed a spotlight on artists who a lot of people may not know already, who don't have tens of millions of monthly listeners, who don't have 1 million streams on their songs just yet. But no, they've chosen people who've already built a name and a core audience. Now, I don't want to look too much into it. I'm not going to speculate, but I feel like this has to be some kind of contractual obligation between Spotify and these labels who are paid to, or who Spotify is paying to keep their artists' music on their platforms. The labels are like, hey, we need you to promote this list of artists. We need you to keep their names afloat. We need you to, spread the narrative that these artists are going to be around for a while. Even somebody like Big X the Plug, who, while he has had momentum in hip-hop for a while, apparently he's trying to embrace a new country theme, a new country persona. So he's actively moving away from hip hop, while it's other artists that could have been promoted instead. And if what I believe to be the case is Spotify is working with the labels to promote their new batch of artists. That's not unheard of, but that would make sense as to why there's no independent creators on here. There are no people that's just strictly signed to themselves or just making music independently without the backing of a major label. All these people on this list have already received major label backing, have already had industry ties, have already made these connections, and it's like, is this really the crop of musicians that's gonna take over one of the most popular genres in the world? Cause I'm gonna be so real, if that's the case, then the genre is looking bad for the genre. It might be a poor reflection on the genre. Like I said, it's people on here that I like Baby Keem and Doechii and even Glorilla. I could see having some real staying power. I think Glorilla is especially a really dope artist, and I respect how she bounced back when everybody had counted her out. Academics was saying, "Oh, she's a one-hit wonder. Her time is come and gone," but Glorilla really managed to rebrand herself, come back with a new identity, come back with, and just prove that the hype is not just manufactured. She's actually a really dope artist who's built and sustained this platform for herself. Like I said, it's dope artists on here, of course. Like I said, I already mentioned my affinity for Lil Tecca. He's been around since I was in high school in 2018, 2017, making music with Cole Bennett, or making music videos with Cole Bennett, somebody who's also really, really established in the music industry. And then you got somebody like Rod Wave, who, while I personally don't listen to him, I can see why a lot of people are attached to him. He already selling out stadiums, a massively popular artist, to say the very least. People resonate with his music. So I could understand, why they're on here. But like I said, I feel like these opportunities, this specific opportunity, could have went to somebody else that Spotify could have platformed instead. I feel like it's worse than Double XL because, Double XL will actually take the time for the community to pick out who they should be on the list and stuff like that. People who actually are on the come up a lot of times. While they might not have crossed over to that mainstream threshold, they're still building a core audience for themselves. They're still going up and there's still room for expansion. With these guys, a lot of them have already commercially peaked, if we being real. And just continuing on the note that a lot of these artists have already been successful, and that, if this is the projection of the future of hip-hop, then I ain't gonna lie, the genre might not be in the best place. Like, a lot of these people I feel like, are just waves, you know what I'm saying? Or what we seeing from the new genre and stuff like that, the new era of hip-hop. A lot of artists are just coming in as waves. They'll be hot for a little minute, and then the buzz will completely subside. Like, where they be here today and then gone the next day. I feel like hip-hop is almost becoming disposable. You know what I'm saying? Some artists have their wave, they hot for a little minute, and then it quickly or slowly but surely starts dissipating. So yeah, man, that's how I feel. That's my take on this new leaders conversation. I wish Spotify would have used their platform to really back some independent artists or back some artists that are a little bit lesser known. But I guess that goes against what the brand is supposed to be about. Spotify doesn't really want to back any independent artists. Like, that'll give fuel to the fire that nobody really needs a label anymore. And Spotify is the one that needs the labels. That's what listeners, and that's what creatives, and that's what musicians to be aware of. If anything, this proves that musicians don't really need the labels anymore. The platforms do. Spotify, Apple Music, they need the labels. They need to be able to have the license. They need to be able to have the copyrighted content. But the artists themselves, you can blow up big and shit, you can be the next face of hip hop just like these people. You might not get the same press or popularity or spotlight, but look at somebody like Larry June, somebody like Currency. People that are really making music that reaches people and touches people, but it doesn't still get the same push as people that were already mentioned on this list, for good and for bad. Because we can look on this list and see the type of artists they're promoting. You know what I'm saying? respectfully, shout out to some of these artists, but we can be real and recognize that it's a lot of debauchery going on in hip hop. On the mainstream, man, there's nobody that's really pushing anything positive or sending out a good message to the youth and stuff like that. You know, even somebody like Rod Wave is depressional music. It's damn near bring down your vibration. It's good at times, but you know, people need to be uplifted as well. They need a message. They need to be inspired as well. So we can see what Spotify is trying to do. They trying to cancel out the independent artists. But those artists are just as important to hip hop as what's being pushed in the major label distribution, if not even more. So I appreciate y'all for taking the time to check out this video. I got a lot more content coming soon, so make sure you stay tuned. Like, comment, and subscribe on this video, man. Help me reach and help me grow my brand, because that's what we about. Thank y'all so much for watching. We out.